Hello 3D printing friends. Today I'm checking out something a little different. Not a printer, not a tool, but the thing that everything else sits on, including me at the moment. This is the Livtab CyberOne Pro, and the company reached out asking if I could show how it might serve as the ultimate 3D printing workbench. Now, that phrase, ultimate 3D workbench, is doing a lot of heavy lifting, pun intended, because for a 3D printer setup, I'm thinking about a few key things: a sturdy work surface, plenty of workspace, good cable management, and room for tools and materials. The CyberOne definitely has the tech side covered. It's got built-in speakers, LED accent lighting, a wireless phone charger, and even a powered coaster that can heat or cool your drink. But as a workbench? Well, we'll see how all that tech plays out right after this. Hi, welcome back. So, first impressions. It's a beautiful desk. Big, angular, futuristic. It honestly feels like something out of a sci-fi show. The desk comes in all black with green plastic accents on the legs. And those accents can actually be 3D printed. Livtab shared the step files, so you can print your own in whatever color you like. I printed one leg's worth of the accent parts in orange PLA. It took about 12 hours for the 4 pieces, and they came out great. I think all of these parts screw in from underneath, so I haven't changed them out. Still, it's a fun touch, a way to customize the look using your own printer. I also printed some custom accessories for the pegboard. A headphone hook, a rack for my Wera hex drivers, a holder for calipers, and a few small organizers. I even remixed a few designs to create mounting brackets for my word clock, along with these little shelves that can hold just about anything on the smaller side. That's one of the things I really like about this setup. You can make it your own. Whether it's functional mounts or just a way to keep tools handy, the pegboard can be another 3D printing project if you want it to be. Let's look at the design and build quality. The desktop surface is really solid. It's wide and deep, and it feels sturdy. Easily strong enough to hold a printer like my Bamboo Lab P2S or even an H2D. But I do wish it was one big uninterrupted surface. See, near the back on both sides there are cutouts for the pop-up speakers. Then you've got that hot and cold coaster on the left front corner and a wireless charger built right into the surface just left of where your laptop might sit. Those are cool features for an office workstation, but for a workbench, they get in the way a bit. You lose flat surface area where you'd otherwise be able to set down tools, materials, or even just move a printer a little bit. Having these cutouts scattered around the surface can sometimes make it feel like you're working around the desk instead of working on it. Now, the wireless charger is convenient if you want your phone positioned right on the charging spot, but you can't move it to where it's most comfortable for you. Sure, it folds flat, but it's permanently built into the top of the desk. So again, nice feature, but maybe not in the best place for me 100% of the time. And that coaster is a great idea in theory. You can press a button to keep your coffee hot or your drink cold. But in practice, most mugs and beverage cans have concave bottoms, so the contact area with the coaster is tiny. It works okay for flat bottom mugs like this one, but for regular mugs, your hot beverages tend to level off at slightly more than lukewarm. Livtab includes a small metal tumbler with a lid, and it has a mostly flat bottom. I tend to use it with the coaster in cold mode to keep water cool. It works well enough that the bottom of it starts to get condensation on it. But frankly, a vacuum insulated tumbler does a better job of keeping hot things hot and cold things cold. However, just below that coaster on the front left edge of the desk is one of my favorite features, a bank of USB charging ports. 4 USB-C and 4 USB-A. That's a lot of power. If you're running accessories like LED strips, cameras, Raspberry Pis, at least up to a Pi 4, or even just need to charge your tablet or tools, this is perfect. It keeps everything powered and it's positioned so you don't have to crawl underneath the desk to reach it. It's one of the more useful features, and it's great for a 3D printing setup. The CyberOne has some other nice features too. There's a large drawer in the middle that's perfect for tools or accessories. Roomy, solid, and well built. It's divided into 2 sections, and it's great for keeping things tidy. Then there are the optional Outrigger modules on each side. The left one includes a removable toolbox, and the right one is designed to hold a PC tower, and it has a pegboard panel on the side of it. Each Outrigger adds about 11 inches of width, So if you install both, the desk is just over 7 feet wide. You don't have to use them, but if you have the room, they really add to the desk's functionality. Behind the pegboard and the desk legs, you get RGB accent lighting that spills out onto the wall behind. The lighting looks great. It adds some atmosphere without being too harsh. The lights and all the smart features are controllable through Livtab's mobile app. The control panel on the desk itself is pretty simple. Buttons to raise and lower the desk, 2 programmable buttons to store your favorite height settings, plus controls for lights, coaster, and speakers. But the app gives you a lot more flexibility. In the app, you can save up to 10 height presets, each represented by a button showing the height. Unfortunately, you can't rename them. It would be nice to have labels like standing, sitting, or filming height, but it's still great to have quick access to 10 memory slots instead of 2. The lighting section of the app is a little more limited. There are around a dozen preset color patterns to choose from, and you can pick up to 6 of those to be accessible from the desk's control panel. You can't edit or customize the patterns, so no gradual fades or custom color cycles, just the presets. There's also one extra lighting mode that's only available from the physical control panel. It gently cycles through all the colors. But there's a twist. That lighting mode also syncs to the built-in speakers, reacting to the audio. When it's just cycling colors, it looks great. When it's reacting to music, it tends to flicker pretty aggressively, and that gets distracting fast. So I tend to stick with the solid colors. So let's talk about actually using this desk for 3D printing, because that's really what Livtab wanted me to explore. I've got my P2S here. We'll set it up on the desktop, and we'll see how the CyberOne handles vibration and stability. Putting the printer on the desktop, it feels pretty solid. This thing's rated to handle up to 275 pounds, so no concerns there. Once the printer's running, the desk stays impressively stable. Does it move when the printer does? Yeah, but not much. I mean, it's a desk, not a block of granite. There's very little wobble, even at full speed. That's actually one of the strong points here. It's heavy and it's well constructed. I even raised and lowered the desk while the printer was running. The desk, of course, handled it without any issue. And the printer didn't even notice as the desk moved smoothly between height presets. From an ergonomic standpoint, being able to lift the printer up to eye level to watch that first layer go down is great. Plus, you can raise it up when you're working on the printer and lower it when you're doing 3D design or downloading and slicing a model. That's actually super useful. So does it work as a 3D printing workbench? Yeah, kind of. I mean, it certainly works for 3D printing, but not necessarily because of its unique features. The build quality, the sturdiness, the height adjustability, those are great. But the pop-up speakers, the wireless charger, and the hot and cold coaster don't really add anything to the printing experience. If anything, they take away a bit of the usable surface space that makes a good workbench great. Now, don't get me wrong, those speakers sound pretty good, and they rise up or stow away at the touch of a button, which is cool. If you're watching print time lapses, editing video, or just listening to music while you work, they're genuinely enjoyable. It's just that, again, it makes this feel more like a tech workstation than a maker's bench. And then there's the elephant in the room, the price. The CyberOne Pro comes in at around $2,500, and that's a lot. Now, you do get a lot of technology for that price. Dual motorized height adjustment, RGB lighting, app control, built-in audio, that powered coaster, and a very premium overall build. But I have a hard time personally justifying it because so many of those wow features don't really fit the workbench role. For that kind of money, I'd want a big, flat, uninterrupted surface where I can spread out a project. While it does at least have that Outrigger on the left side for tool storage, what you get is a desk that's great for productivity and entertainment, but only kinda great for 3D printing. That said, there's a lot I like here. The overall design feels modern and bold. The customization aspect, like printing your own accent parts and pegboard accessories, gives it a personal touch that I think 3D printing enthusiasts will appreciate. And the stability is good. It seems like it's really well engineered. If you're someone who wants your 3D printer setup to look as futuristic as it performs, and you like the idea of having your workspace double as your streaming desk, editing station, or gaming setup, then the CyberOne Pro 100% delivers on that. For me, it's a beautiful, capable, and maybe over-engineered desk. As a workstation, it's outstanding. As a workbench, it's close, but not quite there. I love the build quality. I love that it can hold a heavy printer, and I love that I can print custom accent pieces to match my setup. But I'd trade the coaster and the wireless charger in a heartbeat for a bigger, simpler, uninterrupted work surface. If Livtab was to come out with a Maker Edition with the same frame, same power, but maybe a clean top and maybe a few 3D printing focused accessories, I think that could be really nice. Hey, Future Brian here from the editing desk. As I was putting this video together, Livtab reached out to let me know they're working on something along those lines. It's a modular version of the CyberOne. The main desktop still has the speaker, coaster, and wireless charger cutouts, but you can add left or right side returns that are just big, solid slabs of workspace, and they can even have pegboard backs. So that might be something worth keeping an eye on, and I'll drop a link in the description. Now, back to the show. Still, despite the almost but not quite nature of using it as a workbench, I've really enjoyed working with it. It's a desk that looks like it belongs in the future. If you want to see what a high-tech, customizable 3D printing station looks like, this is it. Just be ready to pay for the privilege. Thanks again to Livtab for sending this over. Thank you for watching, and big thanks to everyone who supports the channel, whether with channel memberships or by using the links in the description. If you liked this episode, give it a thumbs up and maybe subscribe so you don't miss new ones. Well, 3D printing friends, that's about all the time we have for this one, and now that we're at the end, let's go print something cool.